I just got married. My wife, Tanya, basically raised her sister, Marie, after their mom passed away. Even after their dad remarried, Tanya and her sister were more like mom and daughter than sisters. Marie got married last year, and she got pregnant right away. No, not before. They figured they got pregnant on their honeymoon. Marie went into premature labor at our wedding reception. She gave birth to a tiny but healthy baby girl. For some reason, Tanya decided she needed to take care of her. We were supposed to leave for our honeymoon 2 days after our wedding, but Tanya said she couldn't just leave. She isn't a doctor or a nurse. Marie has a dad, a stepmom, a husband, a mother, and a father-in-law. I don't understand why she had to go. But we had non-refundable tickets, and insurance didn't cover. I have to stay and take care of my sister as part of the coverage. Plus, I had booked 2 weeks off for my wedding and honeymoon. So since I was going to be home by myself doing nothing, while my wife was in another city doing whatever, I went on a honeymoon by myself. I got a massive bed all to myself. I used all the resort credits for couples massages, romantic excursions, special meals on deep-sea fishing, and a dune buggy tour of the island. I just got back, and my wife is still with her sister, but she's upset that I went on our honeymoons by myself. Was I supposed to let the money go to waste? Was I supposed to sit at home playing Diablo while I waited for her to be done? We're fighting about it. My friends all agreed that I would have been dumb to waste the money and my time off. Her friends thought I was an idiot to enjoy myself while she cared for her sister and a new baby. I will add that I had nowhere to stay at Marie's house. Tanya's sleeping in the nursery since the baby's still in the NICU. Am I the idiot because I went on the honeymoon without my brand new wife, since she had to take care of her sister? I just got back, and my wife is still with her sister, but she's upset that I went on our honeymoons by myself. What the heck is she upset about? You had time off and a paid trip. Did she want you to go with her and hold her hand while she held her sister's? She's still not back. Do some deep thinking about your position, rank if you will, in the relationship. As someone who also had a baby in the NICU, you're not the idiot. Your wife is basically there to emotionally support your sister. Babies in the NICU are surrounded 24/7 by skilled nurses and doctors, and they're only allowed a few visitors for a limited time per day. So there really is nothing for your wife to do except hold your sister's hand, which may be really important. Having a baby in the NICU is scary. I was worried all the time. If they're really close and that's all she's doing, then support her decision. But you weren't needed in this scenario, and the tickets would have been a total loss. Plus, it's your vacation too. Yes, people keep bashing OP for ditching his wife. If anything, his wife ditched him. They had plans. She bailed, and OP was left alone at home. It might be a different situation if OP was allowed to join the rest of the family, but he wasn't. His newlywed wife left him alone at home just after their marriage. His wife is definitely a selfish idiot for making him feel guilty for going. Just because she wanted to stay doesn't mean he should miss out. Exactly. Basically, OP had a choice of using the vacation they paid for or sitting at home playing video games. He certainly wasn't included in this family crisis, which sounds like it became a non-emergency within the first 2 days anyway. Again, if OP had been included in the situation, it might have been a different story. His wife showed him where he stands, and he'll never be a priority. My wife's parents live far away, but often come to visit. My father-in-law is not a handyman, but he likes to do small house projects for my wife when he visits. In the past, when he visits, he's gotten frustrated by not being able to find my tools, like screwdrivers and vice grips, because they were not put back away properly after I used them. This is a legitimate complaint, as I sometimes get very frustrated by myself. I have a bit of attentiveness, ADHD, and I often lose tools immediately when I put them down, after or even during a project. I try to work on it, but it's a constant struggle for me. A few weeks back, I noticed a new toolbox in our basement with a combination lock on it. At first, my wife told me it was hers, but later I learned that my father-in-law had gotten some secondhand tools and sent them to my house so we could work on my wife's projects. The lock is there specifically to prevent me from opening the toolbox and using the tools. My wife knows the code, or at least she did at one point. She says that she's forgotten it. and I believe her on that point. There was never any point where anyone explained to me that he was sending tools and/or wanted them to be kept for his own use on projects. They all just decided to send this toolbox with a lock to keep me out. I should mention that my wife's parents really love their daughter more than anything in the world and are of the idea that she should make all the decisions and I should just do whatever she tells me. I don't really begrudge their view, but I think this provides some context for it. My initial response was to joke about it, but I'm really not comfortable with this. I appreciate his concerns and am comfortable saying that I won't use his tools, even if I can't find my own. But having a lock there solely to keep me out of a toolbox in my own home feels very disrespectful. I've expressed these feelings, but both my mother and father-in-law have told me to get over it, which I think is not an acceptable response. I'm trying to avoid confrontation and/or bad feelings, or blow this out of proportion. I don't want him to feel unwelcome or that his handiwork isn't appreciated, but I feel that this lock has to go. Either it needs to be removed, or the whole toolbox has to be shipped back to my father-in-law's house. So, am I the idiot if I tell my father-in-law that they can't keep a toolbox locked to keep me out in my house? You are the idiot. You know you would eventually borrow something you need and lose it. It's not hurting you being there. Get over it. This is not a hill to die on. Just let it go. This is on the level of, why does my teenage daughter have a lock on her diary? Doesn't she trust me? In terms of picking things to be mad at, just let it go. Perfect analogy. OP, why does anyone have to talk to you about it? Is your wife not allowed to store something for her father in the basement? Does she not have the freedom to put what she wants down there? It's not your toolbox, so you don't need to access it anyway. What if you offered a friend to store their bike there? Would you be offended if they put a lock on the tire? If you're really not going to open the toolbox and it's not yours, why do you care whether it's locked or not? I also have ADHD, and I suspect OP is downplaying it a bit about the issues he's causing for his wife and in-laws when they can't find the things they need. I doubt it came to this over one hammer or whatever. That aside, there's also the point at which OP, frankly, doesn't have the right to demand access to everything that doesn't belong to him, even if it is in his home. You don't get to have access to your guest luggage either. Feel free to throw a sulk about it, but it doesn't change anything. This only makes his life easier. He is a free handyman. I believe in teaching my kids by no means under any circumstances. As a parent, this is one of my hills to die on. My in-laws think I'm too uptight. Even my husband doesn't totally get it. I've told my in-laws that if they want my kids around, they need to model healthy behavior. As a result, some of them have taken up the attitude that they just won't see us. This happened over the family weekend at my in-laws' house, but my husband and I still can't agree, so I'm just asking. We were at a pool party at my father-in-law's house. He was in the pool with his fiancée, and she was wrapped around him because she didn't want to get wet. A couple of people were giving her crap about having her hair and makeup done, and father-in-law was like, "Should I do it?" She very clearly said, "Don't you dare," and he dunked her in the pool. Everyone thought it was funny. I mean, she slapped him, but she smirked. I was angry because, while it might seem minor, I repeatedly told them. I told my husband I wanted to go, as his dad knew how strongly I felt. My husband said I was being a control freak. He refused to help, so I packed up on my own. When we got to the car, he blew up, saying I was controlling. He asked why I was judging them, and even implied that they were probably happier than we were. He still thinks I overreacted and ruined the 4th for the kids. Am I the idiot for humiliating my husband by leaving his family party because I always teach my kids that no means no? Oh, good God, you are the idiot. An idiot just sitting around judging everyone else because you think you're superior. Couples don't have to run their interactions past you for approval. If it doesn't involve your kids and didn't upset his wife, butt out. You sound insufferable. Wait, what? You're upset about something that someone else did to their other half, and you left because they shouldn't do that in front of you? Or they should have known not to upset you? Is everyone supposed to follow your boundaries, even if they're not in a relationship with you? When you told your husband and kids you wanted to leave, what do you do if they say no? Mom's head actually explodes due to a system error. The Dunker and Dunkey are definitely happier than OP and her husband. Husband suggesting that his father and fiancé are happier than he is in his marriage to OP says a lot. I bet her husband is longing for this type of happy marriage where you can goof around with your partner, have fun, relax, and be free. But unfortunately, he's stuck with the fun police. Miss Control Freak wants to dictate and control how others live their lives. So, OP, how does it feel to get your butt raked over the coals when you were so convinced you were in the right? Lady, you're not teaching your kids about consent. You're teaching them to be joyless, self-righteous idiots. You sound unbearable, and I expect you'll be divorced sooner rather than later. You left because of a situation that didn't involve you, your spouse, or your kids. And since she smirked, I'm guessing it's a game that they play a lot. Just because something doesn't follow your beliefs of what should happen doesn't mean it isn't right in their relationship. My sister Lainey lived with my family for her first year of university. We didn't charge her anything. In return, she was supposed to help around the house and babysit for us when we needed. It was a maximum of 2 weeknights in one day or night on the weekend. It worked great until it didn't. After her first semester, she decided it was unfair and started refusing to do it. Our kids aren't in diapers and are pretty self-sufficient. We just needed an adult there to make sure they were okay. We talked to my mom and dad about it, and they said she deserved a social life. My wife has a lot of family and friends who send their kids to the States for an education, so we arranged to get one of her cousins to stay with us. My sister moved out to go home for the summer. My wife's family friend moved in. We told my parents about it so they could arrange for my sister to stay in the dorms or rent an apartment with friends. They understood. My sister has gone nuts, however. She's upset that I gave away her room, which she didn't pay for, and that came with free food, internet, utilities, and access to a car if she needed it. She thinks we're being vindictive. I think we had a deal, and she and our parents tried to change it. Maria, the girl staying with us, has been great. She tutors the kids, and we have to tell her to stop cleaning because we have a cleaning lady. Maria gets 4 nights a week to herself and 1 weekend day, the exact same as my sister. We're helping her get a license so she can drive the kids if she needs to. We will also give her access to a car if we aren't using it. My sister is upset because she was going to use the money from her summer job as fund money for the year, and now she'll have to use it for housing, transportation, and food. She'll also need a job during the school year, impacting her social life. I tried talking to her about it, but she said I was being unfair and cheap. If we pretend we were paying her $25 an hour, that would be 16 hours times $25 times 4 weeks, $1,600 a month. Rent, all utilities, food, and access to a car for $1,600 is pretty good in our city. Dorms plus a meal plan would be more this fall. My parents are staying out of it. Dude, they aren't. They screwed over your sister with their attitudes when she was naive and a bit spoiled. Sure, it's nice for college kids to have a social life, and she could have had one during the time she had off. They sided with her, so she blew you guys off, but they aren't willing or able to help her at all now that they've helped ensure she lost a cushy deal. Yes, she's getting FAFO, but your parents are at least equally to blame for this, as they're grown adults and she's a college student. Not the idiot for you, however. Sounds as if they thought they could push OP into giving up to keep the peace, only for OP to drop the bomb of actually pushing the sister out. Now the parents are likely stuck with making up the financial difference and are justifiably worried that if they stick their nose in again, then OP might go low contact. A classic screw around and find out with OP's parents terrified of what other find out could be around the next bend if they were to screw around more. Your sister's an adult now and needs to understand how money works and where it goes. If she spends her first few years of adulthood blowing all her money on fun things, she's going to have bad financial habits once she actually needs to pay for things on her own. She neglected her responsibilities, didn't uphold her ends of the bargain, and now she's on her own. My grandmother made wedding cakes for everyone I knew growing up. I learned how to do everything from her. I would make roses out of Play-Doh while she made them from fondant. My sister was never interested. I've turned my memories of my grandmother into a business. I make wedding cakes and charge a fair bit for them. For example, my base price is $8 a slice. So if you have 100 guests, you'll be buying an $800 cake, one of my base models. In return, you'll get a delicious cake with pipe decorations. At $17.50 a slice, you get my top-notch work, including hand-molded flowers and the whole deal. Yes, I know it's expensive. Nobody's forced to buy one of my cakes, though. There are many excellent bakers in my city. My sister's getting married. It's kind of a last-minute thing. She came with my mom to talk to me about making her wedding cake about 2 weeks ago. Very last minute. I said there was no way, as I had other clients ahead of her. My mom got mean and said that I had to do this. After a while, I relented. I love my sister, even though she's an impulsive pain in the butt. I said I could do it for about $1,000, which is much less than I would charge anyone else. There is no profit in that at all. She wanted a very elaborate cake with a lot of decoration. Oh, heck no. It's going to be a gift. I do not give gifts that expensive. I'm not rich. I'll have to eat the material cost and the wages for my helpers as is. I didn't want to argue anymore, so I said that I'd make her a basic cake, still very nice. I did not budge. I don't negotiate about losing money. I thought about outsourcing to a really great Filipino baker I know who could do it cheaply. It would cost me $300, and I could concentrate on my clients. I ended up just letting one of my apprentices do the cake. It was from my sister, so I double-checked everything, and I did the decorations on the top tier, the one the couple saves to have on their anniversary. The cake was a hit, and many pictures were taken. I told them not to mention that I did the cake. It was not up to par. They didn't listen. I had a client who knew my sister. She asked, and I was honest. My sister found out that she got a cake made by my helper. It has caused a huge fight. I think it would have just been better if they had gone elsewhere. They're angry that I didn't spend days sculpting the cake just for them. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This is how you make your living. And you have employees and clients booked well enough in advance and willing to pay your asking price. Your sister decides to get married suddenly and quickly, and you're supposed to drop everything, so scrimp on the quality of paying clients and whip up an elaborate cake for her for free? Nope. You are the idiot. You made the incredibly poor decision to promise them a good basic cake and then provide something that, by your own description, was subpar. Also, why did you feel the need to point out that the cheaper baker is Filipino? Why not just say, really great baker I know? That's the oddest part of your whole story. I think it's everyone's the idiot here. Sister and mother for asking on short notice, obviously. OP for causing drama. Yes, your family came too late with the request. But come on, did you really not expect them to ask you? You could have easily been more proactive, offered to make a cake on whatever conditions as the wedding gift, and just avoided this whole show. And there was really no need to cause drama afterward by telling them someone else made the cake when it was an employee.